All right, hello and welcome. This is Lost Legacy, our D&D live play. This is episode 5 of our season 3, and I'll get into those details after I introduce our players. You will see a new face, and why don't we start off with them? Tom, why don't you introduce yourself? If you want, you could give a little bit about your character that since no one's met you yet, but you don't have to, and if there's any projects or fun things you are doing that you want to bring a shout out to.
I'm Tom. As I was saying in the mic check, I've been playing D&D for the better part of, or greater part of 3 decades. Um, I work in tech generally. I will be playing Heath, a human, and that's all I'm going to say for now.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you. And now we're gonna have Rennie.
Hi, gang. My name is Rennie. I helped co-create this wonderful homebrew world we're all going to play in together. I'm going to be playing Disbin Tinderfoot, Goblin Paladin Extraordinaire. And a fun fact about Dizzy, for the first few years of his life, his favorite bedtime snack was Beatles.
Wild. All right. All right. Well, that works.
I decided to make it weird instead of sad because a lot of Dizzy's childhood is sad.
That is true. All right. Next, Norm.
Hi guys, I'm Norm. I'm playing Kellen, aka Kaboom, Gnome Artificer, and I specialize in artillery, and I like blowing things up.
Succinct to the point, and last but not least, Sam.
Hey, I'm Sam. I'm playing Odyseth Crash Diablexia, our Dragonborn cleric, and I'm excited to be here, as always.
Just happy to be here. All right. Well, thank you very much. All right. So, and I'm your GM, Gino. How this a little bit about our channel. If you are watching us, there are little potion bottles for channel points. You can cash those in for either to give the group an inspiration, aka you pay a bunch of points, you can select a player, or you can just select the group, and then at any time they want, they can use it to invoke for a reroll. Or if you want to spend more channel points, you can give me a DM inspiration, and will likely use that against them, but there's a chance I could use it to see if an NPC helps them better. Who knows? Besides that, I think that's all you can really do with our channel points, and let's get into this nonsense. So, last we left off, our heroes, after leaving the Bastion of the Strong, traveled through Plains End, or are traveling to Plains End, but on the way they stopped. They found they went to a River's Bend, which is a small town in the Straven Kingdom. There they hired a magical ferry boat to take them to Castle Grim, the capital of Stravend. And they found out that the guy may or may not be some sort of criminal smuggler who washed out of Magic Camp. But that's neither here nor there. With some deals handshake agreed on, they landed in Castle Grim and went their separate ways to never speak to each other ever again. But besides that, they learned that there is an antiquities dealer if they're looking for magical items by the name of Gemma. And that location is, hold on.
Dean, what was the wizard swindler's name?
God, I wish I wrote it down.
I have Gemma's Unearthed Antiquities written down. I just don't have his name written down. I'm sorry.
I sure don't either. I sure don't either.
Dave.
I'm sure if I watch the other video, I can get it for you, but I can't get it for you.
Okay. All right. No, it's no problem.
The video is uploaded on YouTube, so I can always reference it back, but I fully didn't. I forget his name, but I'll get it to you, and he was definitely a charlatan of a wizard. As you notice, most of his power came from his magical rod. Besides that, you guys arrived in Stravend, or not Stravend, in Castle Grim, which is the capital of the the kingdom of Straven, which is a mostly human kingdom with some spatterings of other humanoids. You all heard that there were rumors of there was a bounty board or adventuring board, and you all not hired, but you found a guy, half orc by the name of Thrag, who is an ex mercenary who has offered to kind of be your chauffeur and guide around town. On the map, people will see that there are numbers, and those numbers correspond to locations which we went over last game. And I'm not going to go over them all, but if you guys decide to go to them, we will get into a little bit more detail. If you're looking for locations, Gemma's place is. Number 7, which is Unearthed Antiquities. And I know that the wizard fellow, let you know that she was a strange person. And maybe rock-based, but it's unclear how he described her. But you know that this guy, the wizard you were with, definitely transports illicit goods and magical artifacts that he sells to antiquity dealers and auctions. But besides that, you guys are, if everyone looks at the red line across the map, you guys went over to the amphitheater where you found the bounty board. At the bounty board, you found that there are a bunch of different signs for missing people and missing children that have gone out throughout the months of time. Maybe not a huge amount, maybe like 5 to 20 at most, and not ever really that close together. And you tried to discern if there was some sort of pattern, but you could not find any. But currently there are 5 missing people that, as you looked, that happened over the past month. This is a very large town, so maybe they left town, who knows? But their family members seem to be concerned. Due to someone's very good investigation, peeling through the different bounties, you found a strange piece of paper scrawled in a spiral pattern going to a center of like a dark red blob. And what you realize is that it was some sort of ink mixed with blood. And as you look through all the different ramblings, you started to pick out pieces of a cipher that both Kellen and Disbin were very familiar with. And it seems like it was some sort of ramblings about the cult of Tenebris, the one that you all seek to end. And that's where we left off. You guys are at the amphitheater. You were considering heading to 9/10. 9 is the Circle of Knowledge, which is like the library, and 10 is a wizard's guild in this city.
I would like Reggie to take a sniff of the Tenebris poster. I know you said that it had been there a while. It definitely looked worn. But I want to see if Reggie's dog nose can discern more than...
Make me a survival check, but use Reggie's intelligence modifier.
Sure. Oof, you got an 18, my man.
He sniffs it. And mentally you see pictures of you see a picture of the crumbled bridge from your past, the Battle of the Breach. You see a picture of some of those burnt out ruins and skeletal ruins you saw by the farmlands. And then you see an image of the ruinous castle that you guys found were the stronghold back in Nairmore, and you see an image of Reggie marking a spot after sniffing the dirt, and you kind of get it vaguely that it smells of old dirt and ruins.
That sounds good.
All right, I would just like to mentally communicate with Reggie. First off, good boy. Thank you for that. If you smell anything like that in the city or something even similar, let me know, okay?
Yeah, he gives you an acknowledgement.
All right. I'm going to give him a little pet behind the ears and go, do we want to talk to the mages? I mean, we are heading to the other mages.
It seems like the only useful stop on our journey through this town.
I mean, I have another place I'd like to go, but yeah, okay. Let's see if these mages. Yeah,
Yeah, so if you look at number 9, and number 9 is the library, which is the Ring of Knowledge, and number 10 is a wizard's tower that seems to be located very close to that area.
Thrag, do you know anything about these wizards other than they live there? When I point at the tower.
Well, they. I know that they are a precarious or mercurial sort. They are all. A lot of them are high and mighty about magic. You all don't look very wizardly. I don't know how well you would go, but I don't know. I don't really go there. Let's see. Who have I ran into? I know that there is a large half orc woman who's one of the head mistresses. I believe the head mistress. Her name is Lambug.
Lambug?
I know she's very much into the water goddess and water magic. That's all I really have. I don't really know much about her apprentices, but I've seen her around town and she seems very important.
That's a great start. Thank you.
I know that there are a few different. It depends what you're looking for, really. I mean, I don't know what you're looking for. I know you spoke weirdly about some sort of cult thing that I probably shouldn't know about, but it just sounds a lot like crazy talk when you said it to me, so I ignored it.
I mean, you should know about it. It's not good, my friend, but it's hard to explain. Maybe once we sit down and eat at some point, we can tell you more about it. But I feel like trying to sum it up in a sentence or two is just gonna muddy the waters.
Well, I mean, if you have some connection to wizardry, you might be able to get your way into the guild. I know that the library is a public place, so that might be a little easier for you to get in, whichever way you decide. I don't really know any of you, and your large, scaly friend is very strange, so they might just take an interest. I'm not sure. I don't know if you're all magical in nature.
Well, I mean, Norm, or Kellen, you're basically a wizard.
I'm sure Mizzards would disagree with that, but I can fake it like I usually do.
Wait,
I'm not really good with some people, so I don't know how it could be pretty snotty.
Kellen, I know how we sell this. Hey, Meatball! Sparkle, where are you? I start yelling at the air around us.
Puff of glitter appears to the side of you, and you see a youthful, multicolored fairy dragon. What?
Hey, buddy, so we want to talk to some wizards, and none of us are capital W wizards. But Kellen is super smart, and maybe if you kind of pretend familiar on Kellen's shoulder, maybe have him help him talk the talk and wizard the izzard, you know what I mean?
I think what you said was nonsense, but I get the gist of what you were trying to say. Not very easily. But, all right. So he kind of flutters over and kind of wraps around Kellen's neck. All right, bud. So this is what you do. Just say a bunch of fancy words occasionally with razzle dazzle and kapow and wham and make some wizard shit up. And then when you go in, it'll be fine. I think you'll be fine. Everyone likes gnomes. They're all wizards, right?
Well, not all of them.
What are we hoping to learn specifically from these people about the tower to which we are traveling?
Well, I mean, we don't know much about it other than kind of where it is. We don't know the state of affairs. We don't know. I mean, we kind of have a way in. You know, we don't have any solid info on the trek out there, right? I know we still need guides and stuff, and we'll figure that out. But you know, maybe if we can get in nice with these wizards who are an offshoot of those wizards, they can kind of give us a pass or drop us a name or, you know,
It's the
grease the wheels.
whole general reconnaissance and relationship building.
Diz, can
Yeah.
you remind me of where this place we're going is? I can't seem to recall it.
Oh, sure. I mean, first off, it's there, and I point at the tower that's probably taller than most buildings, and I point at number 10, Norm.
Yeah, but our ultimate destination, where's that place we're going?
Oh, right. Sorry, you meant later. Right, of course.
Yeah.
We're going to Fulguratus. It's out in the desert.
Now, also, we spoke about this situation, this area to the northwest. Now, it's tied into this, so we want to get any information from them regarding that, or that's something with the church, right?
Area to the northwest. Oh yeah, the three temples. They said to inquire about that over there. So, I mean, they might know something about it, but
yeah, what you know that it's some sort of barrow, and apparently there might be some sort of activity that has sprung up, and that head to the Temple of the Three, which is by the graveyard, which is I think 21 and 23 respectively, I believe. And that they have information. They're hiring adventurers to kind of figure out what's going on over there.
So basically, we're just looking for help regarding Fulguratus, or what exactly do we want? So I know what I'm talking about.
well, yeah, I would say, right, if we're gonna play pretend like you're a wizard, right, you say, hey, I'm looking to make a pilgrimage to Fulguratus, right, and that you're a budding wizard. Heck, honestly, why don't you drop your uncle's name?
Sure.
I mean, a lot of people have to know who Norm is. He's been everywhere.
He has.
All right.
So you drop your uncle's name, right? Let him know that you're the newest protege or something. Oh, that's great. That's
Okay.
perfect. Man, I should be a liar.
Oh.
Nope.
I'm not
Wait.
that good of a liar, but I'll do my best.
I'm not that good either. I'm just there's a story here, and it makes a lot of sense in my head.
It sounds
Okay, so,
like you're a liar. You
It's
seem
more like-
extremely adept at the skill.
It's more like imagination. I don't know. Is that lying?
I think it's
Whatever.
at this point, as you're on your way to the Wizard's Tower, you see someone being thrown out the door via words. And Tom, why don't you describe your character, and then I'll say the dialogue that happens right after that. Oh, you're muted, buddy.
You're muted, buddy.
There we go. Didn't want my chuckling to come through. Heath is a human. He's wearing heavy, looks like gold-plated armor. He's got a shield strapped to his back and looks sort of like a morning star hanging from his hip. I don't know how prevalent the religion is out this way, Gene, so you would have to let me know if they recognize a holy symbol.
I'll say Kellen and Disbin, please make me religion checks. But Sam, you immediately recognize the symbol on him. He is wearing the holy symbol of Solaris, the dragon god of the sun. One of the again, you guys, your pantheon specifically worships the three dragon gods, but it is not unheard of that the other kingdoms also worship that god. But it specifically, your eyes immediately recognize that symbol and are drawn immediately to it.
Yeah.
I rolled a dirty 20.
So I will.
I got an astonishing 17.
It's truly astonishing.
And then so he's like hair looks pretty like sun bleach. It's cut pretty close, um, and he's got if you think about like watching Mad Max, where even if somebody like gets cleaned up, they still got this like in their pores dirt. He still has that about him. So it's not that he's filthy; it's that he's been like out on the road. So even though he is cleaned up, there's still this like essence of this guy's been out and about.
So just as a quick
And I was on his
description,
ass.
one moment. Solaris is the god of sun/light, order, and rulership. You know that is a very common god in the Khazralian Empire, and they are generally represented by a metallic colored dragon. Then the second dragon that is the most prevalent god in the Khazralian Empire and also the Draconic Pantheon is Valoris, the god of conflict, competition, victory, and exploration, and they are generally represented by a chromatic dragon. And then the more or less talked about dragon in the Draconic Pantheon is Lunaris, and they are the god of the moon, the night, shadow, skullduggery, thieving, greed, and ambush. And they are generally represented by a crystal or like gem dragon in whatever feelings people call upon. But while you have not been out of Khazralia, you exploring the countryside have known that there are human and humanoid followers of the Draconic Pantheon. And also, you would also know that in Pentos, one of the 5 temples that controls one of the towns is the one that represents the Draconic Pantheon, though they are not Khazralians specifically. But we'll keep going. So, is there any more you'd like to add, Tom, before I continue?
Not until after dialogue happens.
You see a large half orc woman and goes, Mr. Aral, that's the last time you could come in here and bugger off asking about strange magics and shadows. Go somewhere else. We do not take patronage to your ways. As he kind of gestures toward like the obvious holy symbol that you are wearing.
I do not, I'll say again, I do not think that you are given the situation, treating it with the gravity that it deserves.
Some nonsense about shadows and other things. Go back to that draconic god of whatever. Or you know what? Why don't you worship Manuit himself and see if he does anything about it? And she closes the door on your face.
He's gonna like stand up, dust himself off a bit, kinda grumbly, and then turn around and see that he has an audience and straighten himself up a bit more and try and
And
look at
why don't we all go around and give some descriptions of ourselves?
Sure. So, sitting astride a large, keen Corso dog, this really big built dog. This dog is wearing scale mail. It has saddlebags, and sitting astride it is this goblin wearing fairly wearing full plate mail armor. He's got a cloak on with some string symbols going along the shoulders. You can't quite see the back, obviously. His hood is up. There is a yellow mottle to his skin. It's kind of a yellow green. His eyes are big and bright, and he seems to be very kind of giving you that like dog head cock stare as you have this exchange.
We look at Kellen. He's obviously a gnome. He's a young man, even though he has bald hair. He's wearing half plate, but the most unusual thing you notice, he has this weird harness on his back that has a couple tanks on it, and then you see where it has like a little holster of sorts, and you see this like gun that's attached to it by hoses and wires, and it's kind of plugged into the holster.
It's almost like a Ghostbuster backpack. Tom, if you want to make me an Arcana check.
Sure thing. 11.
It's definitely magical. And then Sam.
Yeah, Odysseus is an absolutely fucking enormous black dragonborn. He's jacked as hell, covered in plate mail, etched with the, I guess, depending on what you do or do not know about the Dragonborn Empire, the house that he is a part of, and his station within said house. He's not armed, other than the fact that he's just like giant and terrifying and well armored, but he's not like obviously holding any weapons.
I'll say, Tom, if you want to make me a history check, let's go with that.
I will probably not succeed at it, but I'll roll it. 12.
I mean, you know what Khazralia is. It exists as a country on this continent. It's just so far away, and you know that there are dragon people that are part of it, and you know that there is a subsect of your churches, there, but it's not really talked about. They don't really make a lot of communication with Pentos and the branch that's there. It's kind of like its own little subsect that doesn't deal with your side of it, but you've heard of them, and you know what a dragonborn is, and that's about it. So you don't really know that he's like a fancy dragonborn. You're just like, that's a guy probably from Khazralia. Like the cut of his armor is different. It's more like a Roman cut opposed to like a generic fantasy medieval.
Cool. Gentlemen, I apologize if I'm in the way or obstructing you. They do not seem to be particularly welcoming at the moment.
That lady was yelling about shadows and magic.
Indeed. I'm investigating some arcane goings on, and trying to figure out some solutions to problems that I've seen arise.
This city is rife with residents of low cunning and poor hospitality.
I don't know that
Well,
I feel I've been more welcome than not here. Perhaps not
we
here, but
yeah. Well, I'm sorry you got mistreated. Oh, where are my manners? I pull off my hood, and I have this sea green kind of hair, very wavy, and with a big kind of shark-toothed grin. Dizzy puts a hand out. Hi, I'm Disbin.
pleasure to me. I'm Heath Errol, and he will shake your hand.
Mr. Errol, this is Kellen, and I point at the gnome, and that's Odysseus. Listen, we might know something about shadows and magic specifically, but I want to be able to share that with you, but I don't know you. Does that make sense?
It does. I would love to hear anything that you know, but how could I assuage any of your worries or a bit more conviction in where I stand?
No, I get it. I don't know. Maybe we postpone our trip to the Wizard Tower. Are you hungry, Mr. Errol?
I'm a bit peckish.
All right. Well, why don't we get something to eat? Maybe we chat. We learn a little bit about you, and and then maybe we share some stories. This is, and like Disney looks at you and then like looks back at the bounty board. This is fortuitous. Huh. Yeah, come on. Do you know any good spots to eat? Well, maybe Thrag does.
And as he says that, you see a half orc who you've seen around town. You didn't know his name. Tom, make me an insight check.
Dang. 16.
He's definitely been. You've seen him around. He's when you first showed up in town. He was in spots that didn't seem unobvious, but then you maybe noticed that he was in spots other places, watching people, listening, and seeing him with this group is just a little off. Like this guy definitely has been around town and generally keeps an eye on newer folk and those who seem to come in and out. And he's just leaning against, a wall, maybe 10 feet away, kind of letting them do their thing. But he definitely has the build of a warrior, as you can tell. He's a half orc, but he's built like athletically, and looks like he probably has the wherewithal to know how to fight.
Awesome. When you say that I've seen him around town, like keeping an eye on newcomers, is that he is keeping them safe, or he's like spotting them for the cultists, the people that are like?
You're unsure. You know that like when you came to
Okay.
town, you saw him, and then you know that like maybe you left the library a week ago and he was outside leaning, talking to someone, and then maybe you were heading back to the observatory and you just happened to cross paths with him. And this is a big fucking town. Like this is a large city, so seeing this person more than once in a 2 or 3 week process seems weird with your insight. You don't get any maliciousness from it. You don't know if it was bad, good, spying. Like you didn't see like and then someone said, "Oh my god, I got robbed." It's just like you've seen
Yeah.
this guy's face more than you should have.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep that in mind. You asked about places we might find a bite to eat. I've had pretty decent luck at the Worn Sword if you haven't been there.
I could eat.
We kind of haven't been anywhere yet, so sure. As long as we can talk privately.
Do you have a place to stay in general while you're in town?
We kind of haven't made it that far yet. I guess the expression is fresh off the boat.
What would you be looking for in accommodations? I might be able to recommend somewhere. I've been here not long, but longer than you have.
Let's just say we're between jobs right now, if you get my meaning.
Ah, I see.
I mean, we don't need anything too fancy. We're, honestly, we don't plan to stay in the city very long. We kind of just need to figure out a few things for the next leg of our journey. But fortune or something else may have drawn us together. And
I figure we can kill them before the astral flow.
I'm wondering who's has a hand in it, but that's a discussion for another time. The Worn Sword sounds fine to me.
All right. It's a bit of a trek as you have to cross the river to get there. You can either take that by a small ferry that costs like a silver for the group of you, or like 3 coppers a person, so you get a little bit of a deal if you pay the whole silver. And it takes you over. I will kind of draw on the map a little bit. Give me a second. Yeah.
So on the most publicly speakable ways, what brings you to town?
We are we're looking to make our way to the desert. Do you know? Does the name Fulguratus mean anything to you? Big wizard tower made of glass.
I I've heard of it. Uh,
Yeah, that's kind of our
I'm
destination.
gonna roll and fail at a deception check. All right, great. I got a 12.
Yeah, if everyone wants to make an insight check, or whatever your passive insight is.
14. Yeah.
Yeah.
My passive insight is 13.
Yeah, his eyes
11.
bulge with absolute recognition, and almost like he holds his breath for a second. Quite obvious that he recognized it and did his best to hide it and failed miserably.
Is it possible to see whether or not the reaction, the like emotional reaction he's having, is positive or negative?
I think it's positive, but mostly surprise.
Okay, cool. That's what I meant. It's not like
Yes,
obviously fear.
No, it does
Yes,
not seem
that's-
like fear.
That is the next destination in our journey. This is merely a port of call on the way.
I see. Well, I'm certain that somewhere in town you can find some more information about that destination.
That's what we're hoping for. We have to, get some supplies, maybe some horses. I don't know. Maybe a guide who's been there before. We're still working out some of the nitty gritty, as it were, but we don't plan to stay there for more than a day, maybe 2 at the very worst.
I would recommend if you're planning on traversing the desert, horses can do fine, but there are traders between here and there that might be able to supply you with camels. They'll have an easier time crossing.
I've heard of them.
What's,
I've never seen a camel, but I've read about them.
Please describe this camel.
Special. It's an unusual looking creature, but they fare very well, and they don't really require a lot of water, and they travel. Excuse me, through deserts very well.
If I understand correctly, they have an extra bladder or something that retains much more water.
One more speedy paladin.
I'm
They just
not
have a
a
hump.
natural philosopher, so I don't know everything about it. But yeah,
What
they have
sort of shape do
man
they
that-
encompass?
I think they're
fairly horse-like
pretty
if you're familiar with horses.
I am familiar with horses.
I can't wait to see one in person. They sound really cool. I don't know if they would really hold a gnome like me very well, but we'll see what happens.
What
Well,
are you much denser?
I
than
think I'll be
expect?
fine.
What's that?
What was that?
Are you much denser than I expect? You said you didn't know that they would hold a gnome.
I am sure we are all far denser than your greatest expectations, human.
There you go.
I hope I don't put that to the test.
When ads come out, we'll just handle it when parties don't come off.
After about 10-15 minutes with a small sailing and easy pole line across the river, you pull up to a small dock. Some guards just nod. The ferryman nods, and you all get off. You head up through. You guys are in a much nicer part of town, as you were kind of in like a nice travel area, but this is like the gated section, so it's like a little bit more nobles and aristocrats. You let's see, what's 17? That's a great question. As you pass through this first part, let me reveal it. You see people practicing with bows and arrows, and it looks like it's a small archery ground. And that's number 17.
Hey, Thrag, what's that?
There's over here. He kind of gestures. This is training for a bit of the militia and the armed guards. There's an archery ground, and we're also passing. If you look to the right, past those trees, there's a training ground as well.
Neat.
I'm not gonna voice it.
They do seem to have a lot of guards, so I guess you would need training ground.
number 8. Number 18 is the training grounds. Yes, it's right outside it's right outside the castle, so seems to be. So you kind of make your way up through the streets. You're not harassed in any way, and you see what looks like a gritty tavern, and the gesture is a sword slashing through a mug of ale, but the sword looks pitted and rusted, and it says, "The Worn Sword Inn."
I'm going to open the door and gesture for them to go in.
You see an older woman. She waves hi to you. She goes, "Howdy, Heath." And this is Angmar Farlight. She is a 75-year-old human innkeeper. She's bald, blue eyes, and she has silky pink skin. She stands at about 5'4" with a round build. She has an oval, typical face. And you notice that she has an unfinished tribal tattoo on her back that kind of creeps up her neck. And she kind of just waves to you all. You see people coming in and out, and you can tell that this definitely is a person who used to carry themselves with a bit of maybe fighting weight and build, but has definitely, in the older age, has let go.
What's the?
Is there a spot that we could speak privately?
I mean, you see, there's large tavern. You see that there is a dining area up front, but there does not seem to be a private sitting area.
Is there at least a corner table that's a little away from people? Yeah, I'm just looking.
Sure. Yeah.
Moderate privacy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I forget what time. I think it was almost nighttime or midday. I forget. You guys got there.
It's midday.
So it's getting toward later afternoon. So it's before the dinner rush. So yeah, there's definitely seems like there's a spot that you guys can secure.
Okay. All right, Heath. So I definitely want to hear, your story and what you're looking into, but there's a couple of questions I'd like to ask you, if that's okay.
As that over, sidling up to you is this woman, the build of like a rugby player. As she goes, "All right, what am I getting y'all?"
I'll have my usual, please.
Of course. So she kind of gestures to you too.
What's the?
What's to eat? Food.
What do you recommend?
Anything I'm selling. She just she squints down at you.
I'm looking at her all confused. Like, can you give some recommendations, perhaps?
I'll just get you something. What do you want? And she looks over to Disman.
The house special, whatever that is.
Perfect. And then she looks to the dragon man. What do your kind eat? Do I have to do it raw or something?
Yes.
All right. And she just turns around and walks away.
If you would give me just a moment. He's gonna reach into a pouch and take out a small, like gold-colored beeswax. It's almost like a tea light. He's gonna light the candle with no obvious lighting mechanism, and we're gonna be surrounded by the aura of a group of people speaking in a language that nobody here speaks, and it's loud enough that we can have a quiet conversation and people wouldn't overhear us. I'm guessing minor illusion, Gene.
That's
Gotcha.
neat. That's useful. Thank you. All right.
Privacy is also
I
welcome for a pilgrim.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Oh, privacy is often welcome for a pilgrim.
All right. So I have a way to discern truth from people. I would like you to accept the spell. It will not cause you any harm. You can ask my companions. I've done it before. It just lets me know truth from lies. Does that seem fair?
It does. Which spell are you casting? What
It's
are you
a
going to be invoking?
it's a way I make this area of truth. You might call it a zone. And it's just a way that lets me know if someone is lying or telling the truth. But there are ways to resist the spell. I'm going to ask that you do not resist the spell.
Certainly. I can acquiesce to that request.
And you are familiar with this.
That's
This is a prayer used in your temple often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what made me ask. This is one that I've seen.
thank you. I appreciate it. I do like to ask permission before I do things like this. You see Dizzy's eyes close, and he takes a breath in. And on the exhale of the breath, the lights around us sort of dim, very, very, very minutely, and it's not a sort of overly showy sort of display of magic. It just seems that the air is thick with a new substance, right? Just if someone's burning too many candles in a room, the air gets just a little thick. It just has that kind of quality to it. I'm going to cast Zone of Truth in the area, so this will apply to all of us. You can choose to fail the spell, or you can roll to save against it.
I'm going to choose to fail.
What about Kellen and
I also-
Odesesh?
I am absolutely rolling to resist. It's
Please
a
do.
charisma
Yeah, I
save.
figured as much.
Yeah.
Me too.
It is a charisma save DC 15, gang.
Cool. 22.
But it's magic, right?
You do get my aura. I do still
Yeah.
offer you my aura.
It is magical.
Okay.
Reggie chooses to fail because he's the best boy and would never lie.
Yeah, I failed anyway.
Of course. Okay, so basically, what I'll tell you out of game. Basically, what it means is, basically, I think I just shared it in the chat, but you are aware of the spell, and you can avoid answering questions that would respond with a lie, and you can still be evasive with your answers as long as it is still technically the truth.
But it can't be deliberate deception.
Deliberate deception is exactly correct. I go, okay. Now that is done, first things first. Is your name Heath Ellis?
It is. Oh, is my name Heath Ellis? No, my name is Heath Errol.
Heath Errol. Apologies. That's my mistake.
I
Heath Errol.
understand. I just didn't want to tell an untruth.
No. You're. That's a good sign. No, that's good. Heath Errol. Have you been to Folgaratus before?
Oh, don't downplay how awesome that is. I know.
Say again.
I have.
This is
So you
not
did lie
meant
to us
to
earlier.
be an interrogation. If you have questions for us, please feel free to ask them as well.
I figured that there will be some back and forth, but this is a single line of questioning. I said that I was familiar. Not everybody that goes to Fulguratus has the best of intentions,
Do we have it?
and we have talked enough that I can at least admit that I have been there.
You guys are burning so fast, just coherent.
Are you
What
familiar
is
with
your-
the cult of Tenebris?
I was gonna lead up to. Okay, Chef.
Keep an eyeball on the cat, I'll get the next one.
Can you choose your wording differently?
I think what's most important is:
familiar. Yes, I know they exist.
are you a member of the Cult of Tenebris?
I'm not.
Are you otherwise aligned with them and their goals?
I am not.
Are you sympathetic to them, their goals, and their methodologies?
I am not. Are you?
Neither are we.
Delightful. Things would be harrowing if you were.
Honestly,
But also,
I
if you
feel
were, you wouldn't be talking about it in a tavern.
that's true. I feel a lot better. I want you to know, Keith, that kind of helps me a lot. Otisesh might still have some questions, but why are you seeking them out?
Speaking who out?
The cult of Tenebris?
Oh, I'm not. Did I say something that led you
Why?
to believe I was seeking the cult?
That woman, she accused you of asking questions about shadow and magic. I guess I made a leap of logic. Perhaps I mistook myself.
I'm, as I said, I'm seeking to assist someone with an affliction. They've been afflicted by the shadows.
You're wrong.
Mm.
I heard it was fun.
We are in this town as an intermediate point on a journey to Fulguratus, as an intermediate point to a larger journey of thwarting the cult of Tenebris. What brings you here?
I went on a journey to Fulguratus to try and find means to cure this ailment. And the mages in Fulguratus are less welcoming than those you just saw me departing from. They would not open their doors, and they would not assist me in any research.
Did they say
Knowing
why?
that, it seems that they're predispossessed to stick to their own research. They don't believe such an affliction would happen in this day and age.
We, despite all appearances, have had a shocking number of encounters in which we have been required to cure strange ailments. If you feel comfortable expressing more detail, if it is relevant to those that we have encountered in the past, we will be forthcoming with what we know.
1%. Alright. Yep.
Just checking, Gene. I don't know whether or not anybody else here is affected by the zone, right?
Weeks has such an aura.
You do not. Only technically Disbin knows. You know that the caster of the spell would be the one who would know.
But he could just do a normal check to see if I'm lying.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You can make an insight check, sure.
Yeah, I kind of want to make an insight check on the group to figure out how close I am to a threshold of explaining more stuff.
All right, yeah, make an insight check, and everyone make a persuasion or deception, and then don't tell me, but we'll compare the results.
I haven't
Does it
said
matter
anything yet.
if we're not trying to be deceptive? Do we need to make the check?
You need to make a persuasion check,
Okay, got it.
because that's like how genuine you are, and it also is.
Six. I rolled a 2. So
Great.
I got a
Well, that
big
also
ol'
means that you have no guile, so that's also fine.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
For the first cat, I'll do whatever it takes to
I think he's doing a fine job of showing that.
When the turtle pops, do what you gotta do.
All right. So, Tom, what did we get for your insight?
I got a 24.
And then what did everyone else get?
I got a 6.
Do I have to roll if I haven't said anything yet, or just my looks?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have facial micro reactions to this conversation.
He's clearly appalled with everything Otis has said.
You are monsters. Roll for initiative.
I mean, half that statement is true. I got a 15
I
persuasion.
got an 11.
Yeah, so I guess So you get the insight you want. So I guess, Tom, what are you looking for from the insight?
So, like, if I explain the nature of this ailment that he's trying to cure, like, are these guys that are going to take like a violent turn towards the person afflicted? Are they going
Oh, I think
to?
so. He was always going to drop
Um,
one
like,
abjuration.
I'm trying to gauge where they're at on the like
So I'll say this.
10% enemy. What do they do about like the stuff he's
So
influencing?
they were
Etc.
genuine in their answer that they have cured strange ailments and that they are able to and willing to try. That is a truth. Violence due to it, you can definitely tell that each of at least two of them have a well, honestly, all of them seem to have some sort of negative reaction or an adverse to the cult of Tenebris. But they all do seem genuine that they want to help and they want to try in their own ways. I think what you get from Disbin would be they seem more receptive to like actually hearing everything out and like they're genuinely like this seems like they want to know more and they want to like if they're willing to exchange information. Kellen has been very closed off, but he definitely seems to be listening and reacting. And Otis just seems to be straightforward and blunt. But I will say with your 24, he definitely is keeping a lot of things closed off. That also even seems to be to his own friends from your 24. So he seems to have his own secrets, and that doesn't make that's like not crazy to you because he is a, Khazralian in this humanoid world.
Right.
All right. So yeah, continue.
Right. So the nature of the affliction through just deception, skullduggery on part of one of the cult members. Um, a member of my parish has been infected with Tenebris or his influence, and that leaks through on regular occasion. I'm trying to find ways of excising that influence.
Um,
Given the amount of work done by the Cumulus Conclave, they seem like a good first step.
I we have myself and Kellen have encountered people who have been under the influence of Tenebris in the past. Um, I don't know that we know specifically how to cure Tenebris's influence. If it was done against their will, and this is sort of an affliction, as you say, that honestly that is foreign to us. We have seen people who have accepted Tenebris's influence, for lack of a better term, willingly, and have been transformed by it into hideous mockeries of life.
It's at this moment you notice the barkeep with a large tray, kind of looking around, like looks at your table, then like looks around and like looks confused, and then like and then she seems to like turn around and head back toward the bar.
Was she bringing our food and then
Yeah.
went away with our food?
Yeah, because she sees people sitting at that table were not the people she's talking to, right? You made it so that it was different images, or is it just different
Oh no,
voices?
it was just sound. It was
Oh,
like
sound. Okay.
yeah, like old school Cone of Silence,
Oh.
except just
I
people.
assumed that was the reaction to like walking into a zone of truth and being like, I feel weird.
Yeah. No. So she
I
kind
have
of
to
looks.
go.
She looks, or like takes a moment because she like listens, and then she like shakes her head and like walks through the illusion of the sound, and is like, "Ugh." And she places down a pitcher of beer in front of you, a few cups, a steak that a good veterinary could save is placed in front of Otisesh. And then it looks like there are there's different like pork and like potatoes and vegetables for everyone else, and there's a nice like stew set in front of
Like,
Heath.
we'll get it off you.
And there's some bread in the center, and she goes, "Let me know if you need anything else."
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're a peach. Thank you.
And she kind of reaches into her apron and pulls out a small bone and tosses it to Reggie, and then walks on by and walks back.
Aw, that was sweet.
All right. So, a member
Alright, well,
of your
Keith,
parish is infected by Tenebris. We have encountered this sort of thing in the past, but have not been able to cure this specifically. We have run into other transformational infections to which we have had a better record of curing. And perhaps that is worth exploring. On our end, we seek entry into Fulguratus, and your journeys have suggested that that will be more difficult than perhaps we had presumed.
You would
This
need to
is
have
a-
something to tempt them to grant you access.
And we have
Do
that.
you have any?
we have. We may have special dispensation to enter the tower. Heath, I suppose we've asked you a lot of questions, and you've been very forthcoming, and I truly thank you for that.
No one wants to do that.
I guess for our part, we have dealt with the cult of Tenebris a lot, and I would like to open the floor so that you can ask us questions. But I will tell you, the reason that we have dealt with
Well,
the cult so much is
I will say it's working because you guys burned
from
it.
where we're from, and I gesture to myself and
You were pretty
Kellen.
close, I think, to getting it burned. With
Our
all
home
one had spawn.
was the
So you have
site
to go harder.
of where Tenebris was sealed away for a very long time. However, that seal did not last, and our town was infested. I don't know the right words for it. Tenebris tried to take over our town, and we fought against it, and we're still fighting. Now, I'll tell you, I am leaving out a lot of what happened. There is much more to that story. But that, in broad terms, is sort of why we're here and what we're doing. The cult, we aim to stop it at its core. We want to. Let's leave it at that for now. I'd rather you ask your own questions, make your own insights. But that is our goal, and the reason we seek Fulguratus is we think they can help with that.
I think the easiest place to start with all this, and I have a bit of an answer for the two of you, but why? Why is that your goal? What drives you? What makes you the right people to do it?
I got it.
I mean, I think each of our answers is different. I don't think we all do it for the same reason. I can only tell you my reason is because there's no one else. There were these great heroes that put away the darkness all those years ago, and those heroes are gone. And Tenebris is hurting people, and we have the power to stop that. Well, I have the strength to stop it. And as long as I have strength, I won't allow Tenebris to hurt people while I still breathe.
We're basically a bunch of kids, and we found this thing going on in our town, and nobody seemed to want to help us. And every time we try to do something, we always seem to get in trouble. But we did something good, and we did something fun, and we want to see it through to its conclusion. Plus, there's Norm, but I don't know if I want to go into that too much right now.
That's fair. We did just meet, so I understand.
You worship one of the gods of my people. Are you familiar with our culture?
I am probably more familiar than most on this side of the mountains, but not enough to clarify anything for anyone else.
Mhm. I am obligated by the honor of my family to follow through with that which we started, which is the destruction of Tenebris and the eradication of its influence from this world. And I will see that through, or I will be destroyed in the process.
Sounds like a worthy goal with worthy motivations. What shadows lie in the path that you've already walked? What have you done that might bring shame if it were brought to light?
What have we done that might bring shame?
Interacting with strange warm-blooded creatures for an extended period of time.
The only thing I did is I peed at our trial. I'm a little bit ashamed of that. Peed right on the floor, right in front of the judge. It was kind of fun at the time, but I'm a little bit ashamed.
So you
I
mean, the Black Mage just got the rotation down. Just done on the first try, but
I don't know if I should answer that one.
Two days of so many floods. I've never seen someone drown in this game.
It's just a
I'm
lot.
the first to try it.
It's difficult to resolve to travel in this dangerous of a journey with folks one just met. Knowing what lengths they're willing to go to means a lot.
Um,
And I guess I would ask, have you harmed innocents or let others come to harm by inaction in your pursuit of Tenebris?
never.
I don't think so.
I'm getting out of there.
He looks to Otis.
Okay. I'm
He just shrugs.
Sleeping.
I will carry over that 24 insight. Otis has definitely harmed innocents in the pursuit of defeating the cult. I could only name a ship full of people that are sunk at the bottom of an ocean.
Innocent.
Very relative term.
Um, I do not. I imagine you're a priest by what you wear, and I point at your holy symbol.
Indeed.
For what it's worth, I'm an oath keeper of the Watchers. I hail from the Bastion of the Strong. Some know of us.
You worship Varus Asos or another?
I do not worship any gods. I worship. I have faith, but my faith is in. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to mention, being in town, Building 22, is the Oath Keepers Hall. So, their sect of Paladin, again, Oath Keepers, the Order of the Vigilance, they have a representation here, and it's 22. So, just to let you know.
Yeah. He knows of the people. No, I don't truck with any particular god. I have faith in people, in what is right. I have faith that there is good in everyone, even Otisesh. Yeah,
Rude.
I have to
Is it
tell the
rude that he
truth.
called you out, or that he believes in you?
Bit of both.
As you guys are eating and talking, you're noticing that people are starting to fill this tavern as the lunch or the dinner rush seems to be starting to fill up. Just, as you guys continue your conversation.
I
Are
will
we at
say
the
my
point yet where-
spell. Oh, I just want to say my spell will fade very soon. So if there are any questions that we want absolute truth to, now is the time. I'm happy to keep talking. I guess my question that I have is, this person of your parish, beyond a fellow faithful, who are they to you?
Before I dive into those details, I have a favor to ask if we were to travel together, at least while we are traveling together. If I fall by blade or stone or claw or some other matter, if I wind up no longer drawing breath, um, can you swear that if you find the means of curing this person, you'll prioritize it? That you would.
I can swear to that.
That's kind of what we've been doing. We've been helping people as we go along. The greater mission. Yeah, we've always. I don't think we refused anybody that asked of our help for related to this.
Be completely forthright. If doing that were to jeopardize our mission of stopping Tenebris, I would not do it. But otherwise, I think your request is reasonable.
Very good. The relationship is simple enough. Them, me.
Well, if
And
you
with,
Oh,
and with that, the zone of truth fades.
if you, I'm so confused. If you died, why would we cure you?
The ask was mostly that you would find that as a last resort, killing me instead of finding a cure.
Oh, you made it sound like this was like a thing you wanted us to do, assuming you died.
I don't know what awaits me after I die.
Hmm.
My body ceasing to draw breath does not mean that Tenebris has let its breath go.
Reasonable.
how long have you been this way?
Better part of 2 years now.
Gene, does that line
Question.
up with when things kicked off in Naremore?
I think it's been a year since everything happened, so no, it's.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
just kind of
yeah.
doing mental math.
I mean, the answer is it's close, but like you don't think it's related to Nairmore.
Yeah. I'm just curious.
Do you have reason to believe that Tenebris and the cult are aware of anything that you are aware of? Did we consider anything and everything we have told you to be compromised information?
I've never seen a change in the behavior of the cults with my presence around. So they are either far more cunning than I would give them credit for, or they do not uh, gain anything from my presence.
Are they hunting you? Do they have a purpose that you know of with you?
I have I have been hunted when they are aware of me. I do not have any reason to think they're aware of me here.
Make an insight check.
Which, which one of us?
Tom. Tom, you
Oh,
specifically, as you are now kind of, they're asking you these questions, and you're starting to do some mental gymnastics of like figuring things out.
23.
So at first, you're like, oh, this person I was randomly healing seems like a random happenstance, and then things get worse. But now that they're talking to you and they're sharing these stories, you're like, maybe Tenebris wanted a agent inside of Pentos, and so this you actually going away could have, like you said, changed things. But it leads to the idea of if this cult is insidious and trying to, slowly worm their way into places, why not get a person that no one would suspect?
But
Uh,
my understanding is there's never been a point where like I showed up in a town where they were doing stuff and they knew and changed the way they were behaving, right?
Correct.
It's not like
Yeah.
they have a window into my brain. They tried
No,
to.
they have not John Malkovich you through a small elevator.
Good.
Odysseus' hand drifts up to the front of his breastplate and sort of hangs off the edge, and he looks down for a moment. Gene, I'm going to attempt to just like check in with Severax and see if there's any insight here into what on earth is going on with this strange human.
Okay. So you kind of like think at this, and for a moment, you feel that cold wriggling in your mind, and you hear worshippers of Solaris. They are generally trustworthy. I do not know without you calling upon the prayers of detection. This one, I would have to take more time, but I sense something about them. And I'll say, Tom, make a perception check.
You got boss.
Oh, look.
Nat 20 for 26.
Okay. Yeah, you notice that when Otis has kind of reached down, there was like an object on a chain, and it looked like a dragon scale that was, I don't know what the word is, but like it's like a golden dragon scale that has lost its luster to become almost black. But like in kind of like like a filigreed cage of like it were an object of importance and protected. And yeah, and I'll say to you, Sam, you when Severax mentions Solaris, there does seem to be a little bit of like an admiration to the name.
Interesting. Okay.
So
It is safe to assume you have tried restoration spells.
I I've tried everything within my power and those that I truck with. If you have anything more potent, it'd be welcome.
Think on this.
Has a paladin ever attempted to cleanse disease from you?
Certainly.
I figured as such, but I wanted to ask in
My
case
skin
I
has
could
been
offer
weak
the
for
same.
weeks though.
I mean, before we continue, I do want you to know I asked if you were hunted by them because we surely are. And I say this in the sake of honesty. It seems our destinies are aligned. And if you do travel with us, which I'm honestly, I think that was supposed to happen all along. The cult will be coming for you and us. We have been assaulted by them numerous times, and I don't see that changing. And on a personal level, I'm very sorry. I can't imagine. I can't imagine what it must be like to have something inside of you that is. I just can't imagine.
I would ask you the same that I've asked those in my parish. If it ever seems that I'm lost, uh, make sure that I can't hurt anybody else. If I ever succumb to whatever it's trying to do,
Okay.
but before, and I believe you're aware of this, but before we consider leaving this town, there's something rotten. I can't tell you yet what it is or where, but have you heard any of the rumors recently about uh, some children or folks going missing?
Yeah,
I've been trying to keep an ear out for more news on that as well, and I haven't found anything at all helpful yet. But it's
We got dragoons.
it's here somewhere. Gene, as I bring this up, can I watch Thrag? I think his name was Thrag, right?
Yep.
And see if he has any reaction to this.
Okay, make an insight check.
The 19.
He's been holding a lot of things close to his chest. He hasn't said anything. He's just obviously just kind of sitting eating. Um, but his eyes raise a little bit when you mention it. His eyes also raised a little bit when Disbin mentioned the Watchers. Like the Order of the Vigilance. Um, he just seems to be really observant, and he seems to be listening. Um, Surprisingly, he does not seem to react when a lot of the cult stuff is brought up, which is weird, um, because you would have no reason to suspect him to know anything about this cult and any of these activities. But besides that, nothing else.
Thank you.
I guess he reacts a little bit when you mention you're the one who's sick. That definitely raised an eyebrow.
Spare buddy.
Um, Heath, we also found something. You know, we also believe that there is a cult presence in the town. We found a paper that they left behind on the bounty board with some of their markings. Me and Kellen have seen these markings in the past in our town, in our hometown, when the cult was trying to usurp people's will. We know how to identify them. If we see them again, but we have this piece of paper. Is there a way that you could track them through it?
Blast these guys to pieces when I pour it.
Let me take a look at it and see if anything in particular comes to mind.
That's kind of part of the problem.
We're fine.
The paper has been enchanted. It will try to take your will. It will attempt to do something nefarious to you. I might be able to keep you safe if your will is strong enough. Here, and I will take out the piece of paper. It is currently folded closed. There is symbols and spirals on this that are of their make, but be warned. And as I kind of slide over to you, you can almost feel a presence roll off of Dizzy and envelop you. It kind of feels like when you stand next to a hearth fire. It's not it's not overbearing. It's just, you feel this sort of light warmth. You are now in my paladin's aura, and you can get +4 to any saving throw.
Shit's
Brilliant.
free.
So Heath looks like a little bit introspective from him. He's reaching out towards the paper, and like steels himself. Before he reaches for the paper, he puts a hand over the candle for just a few seconds, and the candle, this little like tea light, flares up and like batters against the bottom of the palm of his hand. And he's going to cast Bless and get the 5 people at the table.
All right.
And then I'm going to pick up this piece of paper and see what it says to me.
As you open the paper, that first initial weird feeling, the miasma that has flown over this town, you immediately, for a moment, feel like a pulse toward it, and you look, and you see the spiraling, crazy scribble that goes into a black void, a hole you know and are familiar with. Please make me a wisdom saving throw.
You got it.
I'll let you know, I remember us doing Kieran's and how long it took. And we've done 4 Kieran's in 45 minutes.
25?
Okay. You have been fighting this influence for the past 2 years, and the pulse. You are fully prepared for this. Your body is in the waking moment when the fighting's the easiest, and you see it, and it spirals. It seems to try to pull you in to this pit of ever filling darkness, this hungering void. But you can see through the darkness, and I'm going to say this for all of you: for a moment, when Heath looks down, his eyes go fully black, and then fade immediately back to his normal sight. And you can tell, you can't read any of the symbols. It's like a madman's writing, but you can tell that this was trying to do something to you, and also this was also done by someone who was influenced by the cult, but maybe not a cult. Like this does not seem like it was done on purpose, but it seems like someone in a mad fit drew this, and it happens that the symbols were also on it as well due to whatever kismet or magic had overtaken their minds. But it is old, and I'll say because of who you are, you're pretty sure this is written in blood or an ink mixed with blood. Old though, probably maybe 2 months old.
You poor soul.
Yeah.
This,
Mm-hmm.
he sets it down and folds it and pushes it back away. Like distasteful, like he just
Terrible.
like drank sour milk or something on his face.
I kept them alive.
This wasn't
Yeah.
penned
If we had that
directly by Tenebris.
Mm-hmm.
This what they work influence on people's minds. They get little tendrils and they creep in and they're like a fungus. It just takes root and keeps burrowing in, and it can destroy someone.
I mean, even the last time.
If I had to hazard a guess,
we went slow.
before they found anything like control,
and now we're just obliterating
this madness set in
So.
and just started streaming through them in these scrolls.
Yeah. Push it. See if you can get it down.
It's almost accidentally not nonsense. It feels like. This is older though. This is older than just all these disappearances. This is
Well,
maybe 3 months old.
almost. 18% though. 18%
That's
Thraggle.
honestly,
Thraggle.
that's the.
Yeah.
Oh, God, sorry.
Oh, Thrag pipes up. That's, I think, when the disappearances started a few months ago.
There we go. This was right at the start.
I know he was gonna do that. I wouldn't
I think the cult. I mean, I know that there's a presence of the cult in town. I just don't know how to root them out. But I
Don't we
might know
get
some
tied into the
people.
barrow?
But it was close.
Yeah, the barrow, right?
I was going to go talk to my people. If there is anyone who is looking in the dark places, it is my fellow vigilants.
There is a conclave,
Welcome to the team, dog.
what you call a gathering of oath keepers here. Probably worth speaking to.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
Also, and he gestures to Otis, some of your folk are here. I think you know that. Some of your flock.
Not aware of this.
What you want, Jester?
In fact, when we arrived, if I recall correctly, they explicitly implied the opposite.
Otis will look to his companions, just like that. That is what they said, right?
Yeah. Yep, they specifically said that, and what Tom said is also specifically true to what he believes.
Whereabouts do you believe my people to be located?
Just north of here, north of just follow the wall around. I specifically mean your flock, not more dragon folk.
Ah.
I mean, that's good. Get more
Otis sort of calms down.
Go up.
Like visibly relaxes.
I know. So I put
There's a temple of the three. Just if you see a large lich yard, it's right near that.
Well, no, you know the observatory is where what you're, I think, referring to for Otisesh, Tom.
No, I was talking about the temple of the three.
Oh, okay. For
Right.
no. So the observatory is where the draconic religion people are that you're hanging out with. So that's who I thought you were referring to, where Otisesh is.
Oh,
And the Temple of Three is, yes, right by 21. That's correct.
yeah.
Well, I know Kellen wants to look into these barrows, and to be honest, it's probably a pretty strong lead. And the Temple of the Three knows more about that.
a forest guy here, what?
I guess we should plan our next moves. I mean, I know it's
All this money on a pair of
coming
dogs.
into evening, but I would like to talk to my fellow Oath Keepers. And as much as I do want to get this journey underway, I would feel remiss leaving the taint of the cult in our wake. So, what do we think is our best plan of attack?
Well, we have to do some research first, and it doesn't really behoove me to talk to your people. So perhaps I should try to talk to the people in the tower and see if I can mention a couple things that maybe that will convince them to assist in getting access to Vulgaratus.
That's right, Project Sparkle Meatball.
You don't get a response.
7K, everybody.
I wasn't looking for one. All right. Heath, where do you think I imagine you've been looking into a number of things in your time here, and you've exhausted a few paths. Maybe that can help save us some time. Where do you think you're best put to use?
I have not fully drawn information out of perhaps my best source, which is there is a Temple of Lunaris here as well. It's the counterweight to my god. Maybe worth investigating there more. And if you have more lines of questioning, things that I didn't know to ask, uh, that might be a place for myself or us to also pursue some knowledge.
That sounds good. Well, I suppose welcome to the team, Heath.
He's a ranger. He's a ranger.
I'd say I wish this was under better circumstance, but I don't think destiny works that way.
He does not want to have his.
I've been traveling alone for quite a while. It'll be nice to have someone to sit around a fire and tell some stories with.
We will do
Hopefully
our
find some
best to
opportunity.
absolve you of that notion as quickly as possible.
You're a ray of sunshine, aren't you?
Indeed.
Well, I do well with sunshine, so
Almost done. I'm ready to play. And then go to bed.
I will say the true test of character, though, is if Reggie likes you or not, and that's not up to me. That's just the law. And
You
I
see
gesture to the large
this large
canine.
dog heads towards you, Heath. You've seen
but-
creatures like this. Make a religion check.
does Reggie accept bribes?
Maybe.
12.
Definitely has some celestial traits. Reggie looks away with an ear flapping away and closes his eyes, but like it's a real wink that dog shouldn't be able to do.
So he's going to pull out some jerky, like some rations from one of his pouches, and offer like open palm.
Yeah, Reggie comes in and just eats the hell out of it.
All right, since we.
Is it up?
Well,
to
Reggie
your
seems-
standards, my friend.
Reggie thinks you're pretty okay, so you can't be too bad.
I stand relieved.
Come on, boy.
All right, so I will say this
Um,
since. Yep. What do you want to say? Sorry.
I was gonna say, do we want to meet? Do we want to Here's the thing: we can all go together to all these places, and that's fine. I just think we can get more done if we split up and meet back up after a few conversations. But I don't know. Otisesh seemed to be pretty adamantly against that earlier.
We got a bad vibe from their welcome crew. I do not think it would be wise for me to travel alone.
Even though I've been playing Invisible Woman most of the time, I still use her.
Well, you could go with Heath to the temple area. You guys could go on. What is it, like a priest date? What do you guys do? Cleric coupling? I don't know.
Symposium. We certainly could. That's amenable to you.
It would be.
And then should you two also stay together? What is going to be a
Well, I was going to go to the Oath of the Vigilance, and no offense, but I should probably go alone. Reggie, I'll be with Reggie. Norm, if he's going to go talk to the wizards, he's going to go with Sparkle. Oh, you haven't met Sparkle yet. You'll meet Sparkle. That'll be fun. yeah, why don't we meet back here, in a couple hours? Like everyone, no matter what time you get done with your thing, just meet back here.
Okay.
Um,
Alright, we'll do it.
And you have not yet secured somewhere to rest, correct?
no. Is this an inn? Can we stay here?
This isn't in, but I could also
We're good.
speak with a contact and see if I can secure a bit more lodging around where I'm staying now.
Where are you staying?
At the Temple of Lunaris.
Okay.
I have a house,
I'm
so
okay
I
with
have
that.
no say in this, and I'm not letting you stay at my house.
Oh,
Thrax talks
I
about.
I I don't have a preference. It's my first time in the city, so you know what, Heath, I'll take it on it. Why don't we stay in the priest of Lunaria? Lunaris?
I mean, if
It's
you
a
want to
small
call it,
rectory, but I think it can accommodate.
I mean, it's a Starlight Observatory. There's a small park, so you might be able to pitch a tent or something. I don't know what you adventurers do.
That feels weird to pitch a tent in a city, but I don't care.
I
There's
mean,
a rectory. It's just not much of a rectory.
yeah, you look around, you're
Sir,
like
you're a
one, two,
priest.
three. There's a lot of people there.
Are you allowed to talk about your rectory?
well, you had to outlaw.
Uh,
You had
o-
to outlaw me.
only on certain days of the week.
Uh, hmm. Dizzy nods. You know he has no idea what a rectory is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think with that, why don't we take a 15-minute break, and then we'll meet back up at 9:30, and we'll get onto our little mini one-offs of where people are going, and then we'll try to convene with that all being over at the end of the night. All right. So I'll see everyone back at 9:30.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Let's go.
All right, we are back. So, who would like to start? I'm ready for anyone. Any takers? Who wants to go first?
The clerics are having a bonding mission, aren't they?
All right, we'll do the
Yeah,
bond.
we can go.
Okay.
We just got volunteered.
So you have
All
voluntold.
told.
Perfect. All right, so Heath and Odysseus, you begin making your walk. Are you going to pass through the graveyard to get to the observatory? That's the quickest path, or are you taking a long route? Because you're from 20 heading to 21 up through the wall to 25. If that makes sense in my road maps I've just described to you.
Is there anything along the southern/eastern border that they might want to see that I should take them past?
Not that you'd really pass, but 16. You know that the area that has the little docks outside the wall is a temple, but not a temple of a god. That it's the temple of the Order of the Thorn, which is a temple of Emporia slash Diaskolos.
It's one of the Titans.
I believe so. But that's right.
Cool.
This little building, but that's the only thing to really see on the long route as that I can think of note. But yeah, assumedly you take the normal path. So you make your way outside the tavern, kind of going down the road. You head through a very well kept graveyard that is opposed to it's definitely like built as like more memorial than like a gated off graveyard. People walk through it. Everyone treats it nicely. It's in the nice part of town, and this definitely seems like it is well taken care of. You pass by some mausoleums and a few other structures. You head to the center point, and you pass your way to the wall. Through the wall, where you're nodded to, no questions really asked. You don't look like threats. And eventually, you head to a large gated area. It has large walls, but sticking above the walls is this like large like building that has like a golden cap and has like a tube that's like a large telescope tube poking out of it that takes up a majority of the top, and it's an observatory, but with more like arcane and divine buildings. But the thing that Odysseus will notice is that along the walls and the building are effigies of dragons and different draconic aspects of the, not specifically of Kazal, of Khazralia, but of the draconic trinity of Lunaris, Solaris, and Valaris, but with Lunaris's effigies a lot more prominent, but still giving the respects to the other two gods. The gate is currently open, as it seems like this is a public park during the daylight times. And you head to a large building. It's kind of T-shaped with this large circular structure, and it looks like with on the west and east seems to have the rising of Solaris and the falling, and then the falling of Solaris when the sun's down, and then on the north and south are images of Lunaris, in different phases of the moon, and then kind of on the walls around it are little things of like Valaris, but not hugely respected or made. You enter the Starlight Observatory, and there was a plaque on the outside that you noticed. And as you guys are entering, you hear the sounds of someone humming to themselves and the sounds of like sweeping. And as you kind of see, in the center structure, there seems to be this large orrery on the interior that seems to be spinning and moving with different planets and astral bodies. Um, and you see that there's like a large pedestal altar that has like dials and nodes that seem to be able to control with like levers and move around this giant orrery. And then there seems to be some other entrance. There seems to be a doorway in the center, which maybe lets you get inside the actual place that you can view the skies. But from a side room, you hear this humming and singing, and Heath would know that this is probably toward like the rectory side of it.
Yes, it is. Yeah. I don't know where
Um, knowing that my hostess can get kind of lost in her thoughts, I'm going to like loudly knock on even like an archway, something where I can like not surprise them as we approach.
Okay. The humming stops, and stepping out, you see a 30, around late 30s, early 40s, female half elf. She has blue sapphire scales that kind of go up her neck and kind of in some parts of her exposed like flesh of like hands. But it's not she's not covered in scales. She just has like scale ornamentation on like the back of her hands, kind of going up her neck, a little bit of like over her eyes, over her like forehead, and she has extremely long, straight black hair and brown eyes. She stands about 4'9". She has a lean build. She has, she's definitely angular, but has a very common face. And you notice on her left eyebrow she has her right eyebrow she has three piercings, each with a different phase of the moon. And she kind of like looks up. She goes, Heath, how are you doing today?
Oh, just just peachy.
Eyes,
It's been
and she kind
another
of
productive day at the tower.
her eyes kind of scale up to Otisesh, and for a moment she's like taken back, but she kind of composes herself. Well, that's lovely. I see you have a friend.
I do. I've made acquaintance of a couple of individuals. Um, I thought I would, with
Listen,
my new friend Otisek here,
worse though. That's something you'd be at the bottom.
see if you've heard anything else uh, pertaining to the disappearances. Perhaps seen anything in your nightly observations.
She nods. She goes, well, Otisesh, I am Daryl Admiar. And then in Draconic, which she speaks with a little bit of an accent, but pretty damn close, best Draconic you've heard so far. She goes, "It is a pleasure to meet you, Otisesh." Deblexia, as she nods.
Two questions. One, do I have any idea why humans would be worshiping our gods? Is this just like complete weird nonsense to me?
I mean, from the propaganda side of it, this is weird. But in the world setting that you've been in, since you've been exposed more to the other cultures, they are just one of the pantheons because of like there was an ancient war on this continent, and there were ancient dragon gods, and they were aspects of like valor, aspects of leadership, um, aspects of like different traits and values that people just worshipped. Again, they are more than just the dragon being itself. It is a god. So like the idea is that in the ancient times, the skies were ruled by the dragon lords, the dragon gods. The earth was ruled by the titans. It's like so. It's just another one of the mythologies.
Sure. And then she addressed me by my house name, which leads me to believe she at least is familiar with enough with the Empire to recognize like the sigils or whatever I'm wearing because I didn't introduce myself.
Correct.
Okay.
It is a pleasure to meet you. There are few in this strange place that can speak the high tongue.
She nods, And then she goes in Draconic, still continuing the conversation to kind of like make you. You can definitely tell she's generally trying to make you feel comfortable here. She goes, "I have not seen any people of the of your kind and of the parish, but we welcome any who are willing to join us. And I do not know if you partake, but there are shrines to each of the draconic gods here. Obviously, this is one of Lunaris, but I figured if you are a friend of Heath, then you are welcome here as well. I and then do you can this is to Tom. Do you converse with her in draconic occasionally? Okay, so she doesn't switch to like for you to understand. She goes, if you wish, we could try to peer into the the orrery, and see if we can see if there's any celestial signs or divinations that I maybe not have picked up before. I'd be willing to do that.
Oh, that would be greatly appreciated. We find anything about these strange occurrences. Certainly set my heart at ease.
I concur.
All right. So she kind of like heads over to the altar, and you see that also in the center is like a mirror dish besides like the other reflective pieces, and she kind of begins like praying. You watch her like take out some like holy oil and like rubbing certain parts of the machine, and she begins kind of praying. And as she prays, without even like touching some of the controls, as you see they are more mundane, you watch as the orrery begins to like spin, and certain planets and stars begin to align and reposition as she calls upon the power of Lunaris. You watch a radiant energy seem to come through and shine, revealing minor images off the like vague blurry images. She goes, "What questions do you ask?" It seems Lunaris is receptive today.
I do. Yep.
Uh,
I didn't think I did.
I believe our first question would be where to start looking to find
You ever spent 100 mil for a relic?
the people taking folk. Does that sound correct, Odyseth?
I believe that is the topic that is of interest to our group of companions.
She kind of nods. You watch images blur. It looks like phases of the moon begin flashing rapidly. The device begins spinning, and as it kind of slows one single beam, tracing through, a few separate stars and patterns. It seems the pattern of Draconis is weaved among the orrery, and as the light shimmers, at first you see a familiar sight. It is the graveyard you just passed through, and then you see a building that seems to be on the edge of that graveyard. Oh. And then you see, for a moment, an image that some of you have seen, a crumpled city, ruins beneath the earth, and then it goes blank. That is that's what I see today. I can, if you have two more questions, I may be able to hone in to help focus in on things you are looking for.
Have you asked about Fulguratus in the past?
I have not asked here about Fulguratus. That may be a decent line of inquiry as well. Do we want to? That's the larger journey, correct? So
Yes, I think at least one more question should be spent on the local journey.
Was it from before?
But perhaps one should be spent on the longer one as well.
I think if we knew, so we've got an idea of where the door is, but if we knew if the door required a key or had a gatekeeper, that would help.
Cap, you're the only
You know,
one
if we go to the
with
lich yard, there's a building there we can use to descend.
So the image you saw was so the lich yard, yeah, and then you saw the temple of the death gods seems to be, and then you saw this strange place underground that you don't recognize, but it's like a ruined city that is underneath the earth.
Do we all see this?
You two do when you look into the mirror. That is
What can you describe in more detail? What about the death gods
so there
I
is
might recognize?
so there is a temple to the gods of three, and they are known as the martyr, the gatekeeper, and the executioner. The martyr represents good death, honorable death, sacrifice, and natural causes. The gatekeeper represents mourning, funerals, transition, judgment, and thresholds. And the executioner represents bad death, murder, betrayal, assassins, disease, and undeath.
Okay.
But they're kind of like this own death pantheon that keep to their own.
Similar to this temple where it has a nod towards all of the dragon spirits, but there's obviously one that's sort of the in charge one for this temple. Is it similar with the death?
Yes, gatekeeper is definitely because it's right by the graveyard.
Okay.
So yes, this is definitely it's like the people who maintain the graveyards and keep everything and funerary rites. That's the gatekeepers, and that's also the people you ran into in the inn. Was that guy was a gatekeeper who was going to go help out with Draven's Rest. From
Right.
Yep. I will say, because you're an archaeologist, make me a history check, Sam, about these ancient ruins underground that you see.
And
There is a group inspiration if you'd like to use it.
I would be alright with that. Can I also guidance myself while I'm at it?
You sure can.
Okay, the inspiration lets me do a reroll.
Yes.
Oh my god. 12.
It is familiar, the ruins. You don't recognize it fully, but you are definitely familiar with a bit of the craft of the architecture.
Mm-hmm.
It's different enough that it throws you off, but you think that if you could like see it in person or examine a better, like again, it's like on a mirrored image, so it's hard for you to get like true details. It has a familiar feel to it, and it has something to do with like the mountainous area you're from and where you've dug before. Not draconic in nature though.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we know where this entrance is. We know that it's associated with the death gods.
So it didn't show you an entrance. It just showed you a lead of like where to start your path and then where you eventually need to find. Again, you just see an underground ruins. You don't know where the underground ruins are. You can make assumptions, but it never showed you directly where the entrance is.
Got it. So maybe a second question might be helping clarify where we might actually get in.
I think that's correct. If we don't know how to get to our third clue, it's not much of a clue. But perhaps if Luminaris could enlighten us on the path to that third location.
You see a full moon in the sky, a beam of light shining down to an old ruins of hills outside of town, with a strange ruined entrance, and then a dark cavern beneath kind of leads in. And if you guys look at your map, there is a little area right up here that some of you pass by to get into town. So you kind of see the image of this on a
Oh.
full night's display. You have one more question that she will answer.
We should probably ask are what perils or unforeseen guardians are we likely to encounter? What do you think?
In this next leg, or do you want to ask about the longer journey?
My original instinct was to ask about the longer journey. But at this time, I am concerned with being ambushed and not making it to the longer journey.
All right. So perhaps, what threats should we be prepared for
Indeed.
if we pursue these 3 clues?
Hmm.
It begins spinning, almost out of control. Images flashing violently through the mirror, the light flashing in and out. And in the last moment, you hear the scream of absolute terror and fright, and the mirror shatters. And she kind of staggers back. I need both of you to please make me perception checks to see if you got any glimpses of the images that blasted through too fast to see.
23.
22.
Okay, look at you, sharp eyes. You see pictures of people in bed, different beds, different homes, and almost like a shadow lurking over them as they sleep. The shadow is very hard to see, but they're definitely shadows of uh, feminine shapes here and there, and deep in the caverns. The last image you saw was three shadows around a bubbling, glowing cauldron, and the moment it zoomed in on that image, eyes lit up in the dark like something saw back, and that's when the mirror shattered.
I do.
Uh, when you said feminine figures, is there any distinguishing as to whether they are,
I did.
like, for lack of other ways of clarifying, like maiden, mother, crone? Are they like hunched over? Are
It is.
they?
It is unfortunately that is all the details you got. You could tell they were feminine shaped, or at least wearing dresses. You know, it is hard. Again, it was a vague shadow, and only due to your very high perception did you even see anything.
Mhm. Uh, I don't imagine that. Actually, before I get casual about it, double checking that she's okay.
You see that
Amir just exploded, and she was like
she has like
there.
cuts on her. You see that there's like glass shards that have gone places, but it seems that her scaled, the scales on her body seem to have given her a bit of physical resistance. She kind of gasped for a second. I, I do not know what that was,
No.
but that's disconcerting. That's never happened before. I have to pray and clean this. And she seems very frazzled about what has just happened.
That seems fair. If there's,
Mm-hmm.
this was clearly awful. If there's anything that I can do to help,
If you could just close the gates and give me a little while to clean up. I don't want anyone to see the observatory like this. I have to bring everything right and put it back together. And you see her, she starts kind of start doing the process of like cleaning things and like getting the glass shards gathered up. I think I'll have to. I'll have to run to town. I'll have to run to the merchants tomorrow and see if anyone has a mirror. That's very expensive, but I'll figure it out. And she begins kind of starting to clean.
And
How much would a mirror cost? Just like a similar mirror.
Well, you're looking at it, and it does, and you realize that it's not just a metal mirror. It looks like
Mhm.
it is a crystal mirror.
Yeah.
I mean, for you personally in Cosralia, you could probably get it just by asking.
Right.
Price wise, you're guessing this. I'll say because you are a cleric with high level spell casting, you're guessing this is probably worth 1,000 gold, like a thousand.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a scry. It's like a scrying mirror
Yeah.
specifically. So it's like something you would use in a scrying ritual that can be used over and over and over again. So yeah, you would be like, I know how to shop for components, and you're like, I would. You could estimate that somewhere near like 1,000 gold.
Yeah. The ballpark. This is not a cheap. In addition to being like weird and scary, this is also a very expensive problem.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
And she seems to be cleaning and frantic, and I think we're gonna fade away from you two and go into someone else's conversation. All right, who'd like to go next?
That's on the void. F.
It's just screaming.
I don't mind. Hello, Norm. You're muted.
Sorry, my mic was off. But yeah, God.
You made life, and
All right, so Disbin, you begin walking through town. Thrag joins you.
Gene, real quick,
Oh.
can I just do a quick? Can I talk to Angmar? I have like a one question, 2 second thing.
Absolutely.
Miss Angmar, the food was excellent. Thank you so much. Did this place used to be a smithy that Garth the Strong used to work at?
Oh yeah. Actually, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, after there were some games here and there, and then I won a bit of money playing, and I bought this place. It was kind of run down. I mean, we really didn't have much use for a lot of the stuff, but kind of like taps behind the bar. Like, this is some of the old wood from the structure. I mean, we've expanded a little bit here and there, but yeah, it has. I didn't. Not many people knew that.
on that.
I'm a big fan of history. I studied Garth quite a bit actually.
54 on guns.
You said that there was some stuff when you bought the place. Could I buy it off of you?
Oh, I mean, we don't have like memorabilia, but I do have something I could show you. And she
Sure.
yeah, come with me. And she takes you into the back kitchen, and you see sitting upon a large anvil is what looks like a cutting block that has been like placed on it. That she seems to be used. She's using it for like butchering and other things, and just didn't
Yeah.
move this old giant anvil. You see like what looks like the hearth that would be used for with like billows is now like a clay oven, like just repurposed. So it looks like some of the stuff she kept and like was like, oh, I could kind of use this, and then a lot of it looks new in like a kitchen.
I want to approach the anvil. I'm just gonna kind of like run my hand across the iron of it, and just sort of like have that connective moment between Garth stood here at one time in this exact same spot kind of moment.
Yeah, and you kind of like for a moment you flash back and you can see this place as a smithy with like you see a barrel that you're like, oh, that's holding a bunch of stuff, but that could have been the quelching barrel. That could have been filled with oil for quenching things. You look over there and you're like, oh, I could have seen a grinder would have fit over here. But you could definitely see where things have been moved and replaced and changed,
You made that.
and it's like a nice like mix of like the repurposing.
This is, yeah, you don't know what this means to me. This is really incredible. Thank you for showing me all this.
Oh, you know what? And she points over the door, and you see a horseshoe. And I think that was made by Garth. Sir, I don't know though. It's been up there ever since, and it looks like it is crappily made.
Do you think I could? Do you think I mean, I'll pay you for it.
She kind of
It would mean a lot.
She she reaches up and pulls it off the door, and I mean, it's sat here since I bought the place. I don't know if it's lucky or not. I don't know. Make me a persuasion check.
Yeah, sure. That'll be a 21, Gino.
I would feel bad asking for too much, but it is memorabilia. You're really interested. 5 gold.
Dad, I got an army.
You know, 5 gold is a high price for an ancient horseshoe, but this is I have a friend who I think is really going to smile when they see this. You have yourself a deal, ma'am.
As you hand her the 5 gold, I was like, you can also grant my place a curse forever because I gave away the lucky horseshoe over the door. So who knows who's getting the better deal in this? And she hands you over this shoddily created horseshoe with a small but very shitty maker's mark.
Yeah, I kind of just rub my fingers. I rub it between my fingers and kind of chuckle to myself at the meaning behind this, and long to perhaps show Garth this one day.
Sure.
Thanks much, ma'am.
Well, come back anytime, young man. And she kind of points to the back door because you're already in the kitchen, so you don't have to go through the house.
Yeah.
So you, as you head outside, Thrag rejoins you, and you guys make your way through town. You head down this little side street. You pass the graveyard, but don't go through it. And eventually, you head over to 22, which is the Oath Keeper's Hall. So you see a pretty large hall. It seems to have a large tower, a guard tower attached to it. But it doesn't have a sign that says Oath Keepers. It doesn't have, besides being a large building that has a small training ground near it and also walls around it. It just doesn't. It seems unless you know what you're looking for, you wouldn't just wander over there. Thrag goes, yeah, I think this is the Oath Keeper's Hall. It's pretty nondescript.
I kind of think that's the point.
Well,
are you gonna wait here? What's your plan, big man?
I figured I'd go in with you.
Gene, I'd like to make an insight check after he's real casual about walking in.
Okay.
10.
Yeah, it's weird, but he did tell you before that the person who ran the place was kind of a jerk. He did mention that when you first met him. He's like, I got a few words for the boss man, so I should talk to him about that kind of stuff.
Dizzy will just kind of slowly nod, not quite sure what to do, but Bill.
Yeah.
Thrag's been around a while. He might know something I don't. Gene, I would like to flip my hood up, and I will go in astride Reggie.
All right. The door. He opens the door for you. You enter, and this place is pretty empty. It's not dirty or dusty by any means, but it's you don't think there's that many people that make a lot of foot traffic. You see a coat rack that has a very similar cloak to yours hanging on it. You see that there's a small there's a locked bar door or celled door that seems to have a small armory in it that has a similar shield with sigils like you have in it and weapons and weaponry. You see that there are 2 more jail cells in here for holding and side doors, and then there seems to be a large desk with different papers in various order, but mostly well kept. You could definitely tell there are grooves in the ground of like someone who would be sit there leaning a lot. And there are two chairs on the outside for like guests to sit and like report things. And on the inside, it looks like there seems to be a tower, like I said before, and some closed door rooms that don't like that you don't know where they go.
It doesn't seem like there are many watchers here.
Oh, I mean, yeah, probably not. But let me go see if I can rustle someone up. I'll go get the boss for you. And he just sits behind the desk.
Dizzy tries to stifle a laugh. I see I
So,
have a lot to learn.
Watcher Disbin, welcome to the humble Oathkeeper's Hall.
I love what you've done with the place.
I have a few agents around the town, but besides that, we just have been keeping an eye on things. What brings you to our area?
I mean, Thrag, I hate to repeat myself. You're pretty up to speed
Oh yeah,
on
but now I'm in the official
what's going on.
capacity, so I have to ask these questions. No, I'm joking. Of course. So what we know so far is that there have been these strange disappearances, but there haven't been breaking and entering. There hasn't been, crimes. There haven't been violence. It just seems like people, I don't know, walk off from the middle of the night. We haven't tracked it. We haven't seen anyone leaving town at certain times. It's been a real conundrum, and over the past month or two, it's been getting a little worse. It seems like the Temple of the Three have an idea that something is happening in the Barrows, but it's haunted. There might be dark magics or undeath down there. Seems like a creepy fog rolls out of it during the evening. And we unfortunately do not have the forces to be able to set it up and adventuring ourselves there. We have been keeping an eye on anyone doing skullduggery. Now, I will say, let's see, where is it?
Do you have any trackers, sir?
Trackers? No, not that kind of tracking. We do more city tracking. We don't really have out like forest trackers here. We have people that do more tail work than actual trail, understanding the brush.
Have you been inside these ruins, sir?
I have not, but I have noticed that there have been strange happenings at a certain manor house. And Rennie, if you look on your map at 12,
Right there? Okay.
we believe that there is some strange activity happening in the evening. We haven't been able to get inside or really know what's going on, but it is worth noting an oddity. Unsure what it has in relation to the case, but that is a strange happenings in the evening there. But besides that, we haven't been able, and all different parts of town, these people have been going missing. There does not seem to be a pattern.
This manor house, do we have a legitimate owner?
It definitely is owned, but it does not seem to have. It seems to be owned by maybe some sort of elven, some elf. I don't really know their family name, or if they are part of the Silver Crowns, or if they are part of different if they're a delicate, or if they're just a citizen. Unsure, to be honest.
I see. That is a great place to start. I suppose this is a strange. I feel like we met in the middle, Thrag. I'm a little off kilter, but I imagine that's what you wanted, sir.
Well, I wanted to
Um,
confirm who you were before I had any ask questions, and then when your friend revealed that you are a watcher, you don't carry our symbols, so I just had to follow up on it and make sure it was true.
I was taught to keep these things hidden until the time is right.
And you did well.
Thank you, sir. I have actually just come from the Bastion. I saw Master Thaddeus less than a week ago. Um, he had no. This mission I spoke of with Heath and the others. This has become the paramount mission for me and my group. The Bastion is acting as a sort of headquarters for gathering information and doing research and things of this nature. Um, I want to be of assistance any way I can in your city, but I will say that this mission does come first.
Understood. Well, if there's anything that we can do, we have a small armory, we have a small barracks. Um, we know the city pretty well, but I have some dirt on most of the people of interest in this city. That if you have any questions, I might be able to answer. But besides that, we've been looking into this case for the past few months. I will say we did notice something where it seems like there has been a general uprising of people are having troubled dreams and sleep. We don't know if it has a relation, as we haven't delved much deeper in our contacts in both the Wizard Guild libraries and certain churches. I've only just been hearing parishioners asking about it
Have
and say
the mages made a statement about it?
they have not. It seems like people believe that only certain people. It does not seem to be citywide. It's just people here and there are having bad trouble sleeping and bad nightmares, but no specifics, no patterns. I maybe interviewing some of the people who were taken, their families might lead to leads, but we haven't pursued that yet.
Okay, so troubled dreamers. That could be another lead. Thank you for that, sir. Troubled dreamers. I I will contact you if there is information I need about individuals. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I suppose I sort of have a favor, but it is very minor in nature. You heard that our trip takes us beyond these walls to Fulguratus and all that. Me and my companions, we could certainly go to market and we could haggle and etc. 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 Would it be possible that I leave coin with you and you can sort of hire someone out to take care of these needs and sort of just take this off our plate?
So you plan on going to Fulguratus to cross the desert?
Indeed, yes.
Yes, I could get you supplies, but I would think that when you get to Plains End, that is when you would want to figure out your transportation. They are the last town between here and the desert, so they may have some Bedouin traders or others who might have camels or lizards to ride, things that would be better for the desert.
In your opinion, sir, is it better to just wait to get to Plains End to take care of the affairs of supply?
I think we can take care of the supplies here. I just think getting food, the second part of the journey for food, and your whatever fresh supplies you need, and then your animal companions, or even signing up with a merchant caravan might not be a bad plan to get there. It depends the amount of time you need to take or plan on taking.
I'm only concerned with putting others in danger that we travel with.
Understood. Yes,
We have been attacked in various places before, so
the desert is not hospitable to even bandits. So I don't know how. I would be more worried about the environment and the monsters that live within it.
understood. Here, I'm gonna put 100 gold on the table. Take out from this whatever you need. Give me the rest when you're done. Um, that's one less thing. That is excellent. Sir, we might need more substantial provisions in the way of potions, magical supplies. I hear there is a Gemma's Antiquities. Is this a reputable place?
Reputable, no, but they have magics and likely illicit goods, but nothing that is world shattering. She sells magical items, potions. You might be able to find some other minor alchemy in the Merchant Square, which is 24. Um, you could shop around. That might be a trip on the way out of town if you are leaving. I don't
Understood.
think. And if you're looking for high end items that would be very expensive, the hold on, the Serpent's Crest auctions, but they deal in a clientele that might be, I don't want to judge, but coin beyond many of our measures.
Jumbo's 30. Back is 25 now.
Understood. I am not overflowing with coin, but I certainly have enough to get us where we need to go. 100 GP put aside for supplies. Okay, I think I had one more relevant question. I guess, sir, I'm probably going to follow up on the matter. I'm probably going to maybe interview some families. Do you have any advice? Do you have anything that I should know about the city? Do's, don'ts, goods, bads?
Yeah, we have one more.
Keep your nose clean. Watch out for pickpockets, and generally don't wander out of the town during the evening. It's dangerous out in the wood, in the plains and the hills.
Very good. Well, thank you, sir. I'm glad I ran into you. I suppose I'll try to be more observant in the future.
Oh no, I make it a habit of strange newcomers coming from certain directions. But it was good to check in, and like I said, if you need a place, we have barracks.
Very good. I'll see what my companions think. Stay watchful, my friend.
Stay vigilant, and I think we're going to cut over quickly to Norm and then wrap it up after that. So,
Okay.
Kellen, you make your way back across the. Are you taking a long walk or are you taking a ferry trip?
A long walk. That's more exciting.
Okay. Yeah, so as you take a long walk, you go across town. You see a temple, which I described earlier. Number 16 is the Temple of Emporia slash Diaskolos, or known as Order of the Thorn. You kind of make your way up, and then you cut. You pass the fish market. You head up the hill into town, and you head back toward 910, which you see a large wizard tower and a circular ring of the library.
Before I step up, I want to make sure Sparkles, are you here?
And you see a fairy dragon appear. Yep, haven't left your shoulder.
Okay, let's do this.
All right, let's go. So you head over to the door. It is unlocked.
No signage, knock first, or anything like that?
Nope, it's just a fucking wizard tower. It has no signage.
Okay, well, open up.
All right, you open the door. You see at first is what you think. You see a very young woman, probably 15, maybe 16, maybe 13. She is pretty tall, though. She has long, curled brown hair, cyan eyes, a rugged red skin, probably due to maybe burns, light burns, or the sun, or something magical. And she stands at about 5 foot tall. Um, she has a sharp, beautiful face, and she smells severely of perfume, though you think it covers a very familiar scent to you. It covers the smell of, likely, the explosions. So maybe a little bit of charred hair and other smells that are very familiar to you. Um, and she is standing behind a desk. You see a few, you see a few attendants around her as she's kind of like gesturing very bossy, like, go do this, go do this, go do that. And they seem to be scurrying about. And she goes, can I help you?
Yes, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Kellen Aloysius Brand Orville Ogden Murdig. I am from the town of Nearmore, and I have business with your fine establishment if you could point me in the right direction of someone who may assist.
Well, you have a
Oh,
long
and this is my animal companion, Sparkles.
and just like glitter comes out of his mouth. She goes, well, you have a long and silly name, and I want you to know that. Very importantly, I am a very important person. I am Benevolent Farlight, and I am a wizard of this tower, so I can assist you. And how dare you think I couldn't? I'm important.
Apologies, and I will bow.
Very impetuous of you, she says, thinking if that word makes sense.
Might I say you smell very lovely today?
She blushes immediately, not knowing how to handle this compliment.
And do I detect an undertone of explosive material, maybe powder and such, black powder?
No, but it's weird that you know that. What do you need?
I'm here on a mission of great importance, and I was hoping that you could assist me. I am going to Fulguratus, and I understand that they're very tight on security there, and I was hoping for any bit of advice that I could use when going there, and perhaps you may give me a contact name that I could use once I arrive there.
She sighs. All right, I'll go get you Jetta. She knows more about that place. Oh, well, okay, fine. We were manning the desk. And you see her kind of... Wait here.
Of course.
You see her kind of scurry off up the tower. A minute or two later, you see an older woman. She's in her mid-50s. She's a short, wavy white hair and brown eyes. She seems to have like a rough, almost permanently sunburned black skin. And she stands at only about 4'8". She seems to have like an athletic build, but a round and very magnificent face, almost cherubic in nature. And she has, again, another strange scent, but this one you can't quite place.
Do I think she's human?
She looks pretty human, but there's something off about her. Make me a history check.
15.
She reminds you of Bolin Smithers in that strange human look of like, does she have like weird angelic features? So you get the idea that she might be an Asimar.
Okay.
And maybe that smell is like some and that smell that you smell is ozone from her.
Okay.
And she goes, Benevolence, back to your studies. What are you doing at the desk? I was doing important wizard stuff. Back to your studies. And Benevolence runs off. Hello. I am Jetta de More. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, it's a pleasure to meet you as well. My name is Kellen, and I hail from Nevermore.
What?
And
Your name is Ellen?
Yeah, Kellen.
Ellen? And you notice that
Kellen.
she seems to be trying to listen to you with her right side. Kellen. Okay, sorry.
Kellen, yes.
A lot of
I won't give you...
A thunderstrike hit very hard when I was young. Can't hear out of the left ear.
Yes, I know them. I can create thunder as well as some explosions, but that's a story for another day. I travel from the little town of Nevermore. You may have heard of it. I am a nephew of the great and powerful Norm.
Nolander,
And I'm yes,
you
and
a
I'm
nephew,
traveling.
and she starts looking at you. You don't look anything alike.
Probably at 8
Well,
millimeter eyeballs.
maybe uncle is more of an honorific, but
No, in total.
I hold him in high regard, and he holds me in high regard as well.
6.6. Yeah.
And I am here on a very important mission that I am working for Norm and other interested parties as well. And I find myself traveling to Fulguratus. I understand that it is
And before this
often difficult
blood
to
money, it's
make
like
one's way in there. I'm doing research regarding a cult that you might most likely know about.
for context to everybody.
It's called the Tenebrous. You may have be familiar with it.
It doesn't seem to like cross her mind. Uh, is that from long ago?
Well, it's at least from over a year or so ago where it affected my village, but the reach of this cult has reached far and wide, even into this fine city as well.
An old cult. That's likely Millie's specialty, but Fulguratus I can speak of. I'm from around that region. My family hails from the Cumulus Conclave.
Ah,
Yes, they seem to have
Assume everyone in my party.
become closed off. They are not willing to share their studies, though they still make their way through the Cloud City. They are not letting outsiders into their tower. They're not even accepting new students. It's been like that for a few years now.
hmm.
They still send correspondences through magic, but I have not spoken to any wizard or delegate from them. I I do not. Unfortunately, I don't know if I have any advice for that or any contacts. But it seems like something has happened, not recently, but it's just
And
they've
he's
always
like,
just
what
kind
the
of been
fuck?
insular,
And he's
and
Hmm.
I don't know if that is a cause or an effect of something that happened recently.
I think it likely is actually, and I'm hoping that there's anything you could advise in order I could get in there. One, I have to do a great bit of research regarding this being that escaped from a prison, for lack of a better word, more of a magical type prison. And we need to capture him back and rehold him. And I believe access there to their libraries might provide some clue.
I mean, binding rituals are a little more tricky than most. We have some of our masters can reach to the seventh tier of magic, but we don't have anyone who could uh, be as powerful as the founder of Fulguratus. And honestly, no one hasn't seen them for many years. Maybe even I could not count before my time at least.
Is this the Lich?
The what?
Oh, the Lich.
I don't know what you're speaking of. There is no lich. What lich do you speak of?
His name escapes me for the moment, but I'm sure if I think carefully, I could probably remember it. But basically, he was
No,
part
no,
of
no,
a
no,
group
no.
of
Stop
great
what you're.
heroes.
Wait. There's a lich in Fulguratus.
To my understanding, that there's some affiliation. Yes, he
You need
wasn't
to.
always the Lich.
What are you talking about? And she seems to get very serious all of a sudden. Tell me
Basically,
more.
there was a group. There was a group of great heroes, Norm of which was included, and they were powerful heroes. One of them is somebody the Strong, who hailed from this city as well, as I understand it. Garth the Strong, I believe.
Yes, he's dead. Long dead.
Right, but he had a former associate of a group of heroes that worked to imprison this being. Something happened, and it caused him to probably save his friend, who's Garth the Strong is not totally dead, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I do not understand. What are you trying to say?
I'm inviting you down.
Basically, this magic user of great power um, wanted to not his friend not to die, so he basically did this enchantment to keep him to this plane, so he could not
No, not competitive.
move
I haven't
across.
seen what it
But somehow, through some kind of a curse, became a lich.
She looks at
And I
you
need to meet.
with the coldest and deadest eyes. Young man, if you come in here spouting lies and slander to great heroes, I will cast you to the deepest, darkest depths of hell. Get out of my tower now.
I assure you that I'm not lying and will
Well,
agree to any
you sound
questioning or
like a
spell.
crazy person spouting lies and nonsense. And the words you speak to me are insulting in name to the founders, to the heroes of our kingdom. How dare you accuse a great wizard of being a lich and saying that the great hero Goth the Strong is alive or not alive? You are a madman. You have lost your senses. You know what? I think you do believe you are Nolander's nephew. And she puts fingers in quotes. But I'm going to ask you to leave before I force you to.
Might my familiar animal companion might provide some insight. Sparkles, you
Sparkles
back
looks at
me
you.
up here.
Those were secrets. You're not supposed to say that shit.
You jackass.
Sparkles goes, I'm a fairy dragon. I know fairy dragon things. She goes, sir. And you see Sparkles fully bails on you. Sparkles just disappears.
Sparkles,
Sir, I'm not going to get your name, and I don't care about it. Get out of my tower. You are a crazy man with a crazy familiar, and I do not know why you come in here thinking that you can pull a practical joke. You know what? I do recall you. I do recall. You were with that annoying fellow who, in the religious icons, who kept asking about crazy, dark, shadowy things. No. Get out. And she kind of gestures with her hand, and you feel yourself begin to get forced out. Roll me a strength saving throw, please.
I'm doing this game.
12.
You are violently hurled out as gravity itself shifts around you, flown out through the door, and the door slams behind you.
And as I'm going back, I'll say, "Are you talking about Heath?"
And as you kind of roll out and are summarily thrown out of this tower.
Well, that went well.
Oh,
Hey,
oh my God.
Sparkle just kind of lands on you because he was. Hey, did you not get the part where no one knows any of that information?
I wasn't making any progress, so I had to be inventive. Think of something on the fly.
Oh, okay. That sounded crazy.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Well,
Yeah.
unless she starts poking around to try to find out if that's any true or not, she might have thought you were crazy.
She didn't even ask me for my name. She's not that serious.
All right, that's
Check
not a
me out.
that's not a bad point. But that was crazy. Whoa, that was a lot. I don't like that.
Oh, well.
And I think with that, that feels like a really good stopping point. So what I'm gonna say is, as you guys all have done your various journeys and conversations, you will gather up back at the inn for the start of the next session to share the information that you have found. So, thank you all for playing. I think Sam had to take a quick run. But thank you for joining us, Tom. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah.
And, yeah, sounds good, everyone. So let's have a good night.
Absolutely. Have a good night, y'all.
Norm, you're fucking fired. Jesus.